All right, so you've solved your inventory problem and you've built that dream team. But there's this one silent killer left, and it is draining your profit margins every single day. It's called fee compression. Today, we're going to talk about how to stop that bleeding for good and become the broker who finally gets to name their price.
You know, there's that old saying in real estate we've all heard 1,000 times. The riches are in the niches. It's a classic for a reason, because it's just fundamentally true. But you know, it also begs a really important question.
If we all know this is true, why on earth do so many of us fall right into the trap of trying to be everything to every possible client? This single contradiction, well, that's where your profits go to die. It's the absolute root cause of fee compression.
And this is what I call the commodity trap. Let me tell you, it's a dangerous place for a business to be, and frankly, it's where most of the industry is stuck right now, whether they realize it or not.
Just take a look at your own website. Go ahead. Does it say something like this? Specializing in retail, office, industrial, and multifamily. It's the most common phrase in the business, right? But here's the problem. When everyone claims to specialize in everything, it really means that nobody specializes in anything. You just become a generalist.
And that's exactly what a generalist is. You're no longer seen as a unique advisor. You're just another option in a sea of identical options. And that means clients have no choice but to judge you on the one thing that's easy to compare, your price.
Okay, look at this because it really lays out the brutal honesty of the choice you're facing. On one side, the generalist is a commodity, always competing on price, always forced to say yes to lower fees. But on the other side, the specialist is an authority, competing on expertise, and having the power to name their own price. The difference couldn't be more stark.
You see, being a generalist isn't just some positioning problem. It leads to a very real and very painful financial consequence, a constant race to the bottom. We have all been in this situation. The seller looks you dead in the eye and asks you to cut your commission. And as a generalist, you feel like you have to say yes. Why? Because you know there are dozens of other brokers who will gladly take that listing at a lower rate just to get their sign in the ground.
This is fee compression. It's not just a tough negotiation. It's a systemic market force that actively punishes you for being interchangeable. It's the direct result of being a commodity in a crowded field.
If you were to map out a generalist's career, their authority curve would look like this. A flat line, just flat. Your perceived value never really increases, so your power to command high fees, it never grows. You're always on the defensive, just fighting to protect your standard commission on every single deal.
Now contrast that with the specialist's path. Here, the authority curve bends way upwards. With every piece of deep dive content you create for a specific niche, your perceived value compounds. It just grows and grows. You become more valuable over time, and your power to command higher fees grows right along with it. So the big question is, how do we get on that upward curve? Well, the solution starts by understanding a simple but incredibly powerful truth about how your best clients actually look for help.
And this right here, this is the aha moment. A high-value client with a very specific, high-stakes problem doesn't just search for a generic real estate agent, they search for a specific solution.
Seriously, think about it. That biotech CEO moving to El Segundo isn't Googling real estate agent South Bay. Of course not. They're Googling their exact need. Now, if you have a video series titled The State of Life Science Conversions in El Segundo, you don't just show up in the results. You are the only result that matters. And that is the transformation. You stop being just another broker, and you become the undisputed subject matter expert, the absolute go-to destination for a specific kind of problem.
Okay, so how do you actually do this? Well, the good news is you don't need to become a full-time content creator. You just need a simple, powerful, and, this is key, a finite strategy called the micro series.
Let me be clear. This is not about launching a weekly podcast that goes on forever. This is about creating a focused, high-impact asset, a short run of 4, maybe 6 episodes, dedicated entirely to one specific niche. That's what establishes you as the authority. For example, say you wanted to totally own the medical office niche in Torrance. Your micro-series could look just like this. Each episode is a deep dive that answers a critical question for your ideal client, building layer after layer of trust and expertise with every single view. And here's the best part. Once you record this series, it becomes a permanent digital asset. It's like a tireless employee that works for you 24/7, even while you sleep, building trust,
pre-selling your expertise, and, this is huge, filtering out the wrong clients so you only talk to high-value qualified leads.
And this strategy, this whole approach, it leads directly to the ultimate payoff. It completely changes the power dynamic of the client relationship and, most importantly, your bottom line.
Just imagine this. By the time that doctor who's looking for medical space actually picks up the phone to call you, they've already binge-watched your entire series. They're not interviewing you against 3 other brokers. The interview is already over. They've already decided they want to work with you, and only you. Your entire value proposition shifts. You're not just another broker begging for a listing anymore. You have become the gatekeeper to a highly specific market. You are offering that client access to your specialized audience. And for that access, you get to charge a premium. And this is the end goal: zero fee compression. This is the ultimate result of the specialist strategy. Clients don't negotiate fees with the world's leading expert on their problem. They just want to know if you have time to help them. Fee compression, it becomes a thing of the past.
So, this is the new reality of the market. The digital shelf space for these niches is wide open right now, but trust me, it will not be for long. The first broker to plant their flag by filming the definitive series wins the territory. So the only question left is, what territory will you claim?